Hey, welcome back to Mobility Project. Brian Ridout from CrossFit Midland in town, and he happened to be volunteering for talking about bed positioning. I know it's awkward, two men in a small room talking about bed positioning. That's how we roll here at MobilityWOD. What I want to show is you'll notice that he's on his back and his knees are bent right away. One of the things we talk about with our athletes all the time is, what's your sleeping position, and do you sleep on your back?
Yes.
And do you stay on your back the whole night?
Yes.
Yes. What do you have to do to let that happen?
Put pillows under my knees, sleep like this, get in all weird position.
What ends up happening is that the whole night, we get a big, strong athlete, who's very capable, but sleeps on a hard surface, and your bed is hard. And what ends up happening is they spend a lot of time getting out of extension. So his legs come down, and one of the problems is that he's got his butt on a little bit, he's in a brace neutral position, but as soon as you turn everything off, he's overextended. The problem is when you go unconscious, you can't stabilize. And now, tight anterior hip puts him in this weird position. Oftentimes we'll see athletes immediately hook a leg out, which is interesting because that's one of the ways we stand when we're trying to get out of extension. Now, the hip is, I've spent 6 or 7 hours in a weird frog position. This tissue gets short, and that, because of the leverages, it's basically bringing the femur up to the top. What was the thing you said, first thing in the morning you have to do when you stand up? Can you show us?
Get out.
Oh, crippled, exactly. You should wake up feeling better. We used to recommend softer beds for athletes with herniated, or harder beds for our athletes with herniated discs, simply because we would give an extension on them and it felt better. But our athletes who are primarily overextended, you can see what position you just adopted without even thinking about it, is that you need to be on a bed that allows you to be in neutral. I call this the 1-minute bed test. If you stand in your bed or sit in your bed, lay down on your bed, and you have to do something strange with your legs within a minute or 30 seconds, which you know what I'm talking about, get out of extension, bend your legs up, your bed is probably way too hard. I'm not advocating a new bed. Maybe you need a new bed, but at least you may need to find a bolster, a pillow. There's some companies that are making beds for athletes that are actually like no-craft-matic adjustable beds, even a piece of foam on top, and it makes a big difference. One of the other things we can see is that as soon as my athletes lay down on the table, I can start to see where they're tight. But look where Brian's shoulders are. You notice that they're way far forward in the socket, up off the table. He's basically sleeping in the Delta Bravo position with his hands by his side. Some of our swimming friends used to say, hey, there's athletes who would be like this, and the only way they would ever get comfortable was to grab a pillow, which would let that shoulder drop to the back of the socket. This is from Coach D at CrossFit Santa Cruz. This is how she would say, this is the only way I would sleep when I was playing water polo all the time. But what ends up happening is that when we see an athlete, hands by the side, and this is basically a snatching sleeping position with a bad shoulder, we see athletes always end up do something like this. They sleep with their hands up, and that's probably what it looks like. Yeah, because you're like, why would I spend the whole night ruining my fitness, Starrett, right? So anyway, some ideas about what's going on. When you have to cross your legs, you're probably overextended. If your shoulders are here and you find yourself sleeping up top, that's probably telling you you're missing some internal rotation, because what would be the natural position? Shavasana, corpse pose, bam! Oh, you're broken. CrossFit Midland.
CrossFit Midland.
See you guys tomorrow.